Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The first of 5 graded stakes races at Gulfstream Park on Saturday is race number 5. Let's take a look at the field for the Grade 3 Rampart Stakes. We're going a one-turn mile for $100,000, and we are expecting a field of 7. And Matt, the morning line favorite, I think the horse to beat, is the number 1 Curlin's Approval at 8-5. She's been beaten in 2 out of her last 3 starts. Both of those races were Grade 1 races where she had excuses.
Yeah, she had a couple different excuses. Most recently, terrible start in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Draw a line through that. 3 starts back in the Ballerina. She had some issues, and also when you consider the fact that the pace was just absolutely
I didn't understand the ride.
I mean, it was an incredibly slow situation, and this is a horse that's not, it's not like she's a confirmed one-run closer. She's got a little bit of early foot for some reason. They decided to keep her off of it, and at that point she had no chance. She's 7 for 10 at Gulfstream. This is where she does her best running. I think she's strictly the horse to beat. I'm a little surprised about the morning line, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
She was second in this race last year at 1-2, but it took a pretty good one, a solid Gulfstream lover in her own right, and a skin for money to run her down. Last year, her last 2 races at Gulfstream have resulted in wins, one of them with a 103 Beyer speed figure in the Grade 2 Princess Rooney. She is obviously a major danger in this race. DRF Bet sponsors our coverage of the Rampart. Let's take a look at the deal. If you sign up right now, $300 bonus, and you can access DRF Bet's membership at drf.com/fall. Please use the promo code FALL300. Nona Mella is the number 6, and Nona Mella is a graded stakes winner. She doesn't get to the post very often, only 7 lifetime starts for this 3-year-old filly. Second in the prior is 2 starts back behind slop-loving Vertical Oak. I thought she ran okay with a good trip that day. I wasn't thrilled with the Raven run last time out.
And I guess for me, a lot of it has to do with the overall field in there. It's not like you were facing any killers, and she never really threatened at any point in the running. I have a couple questions. Overall quality, is she quite this good? I think you're going to know where she's going to be. She's got to go. Going to be forwardly placed. I'm not convinced that a mile is going to be her friend. I think she might be better in that 6-7 for a long range.
I think it's kind of up in the air, although I think most people would tend to agree with you. She's only tried the mile once. It was in the Frisette. She really didn't fire at all. Other folks are going to say, well, she's a daughter of Arch, and the Arches usually like a distance of ground. And in that Raven run, she kind of was just grinding it out to pass a tired horse or 2 in the stretch. She does have good tactical speed, and it is Pletcher at Gulfstream. So you have to respect anything Todd's throwing out there right now. You have to respect anything Chad Brown puts on the racetrack. And Lewis Bay is an intriguing entrant. We have not seen Lewis Bay in over a year, and that is usually a red flag unless you're Chad Brown. Let's cue the formulator fact for Lewis Bay. Past 4 years, older horses off a 1-year layoff or more on dirt, 46%, a $3.11 ROI. Lewis Bay was a pretty solid 3-year-old filly. The Cumley, when we watched that race, we said, Irad, you're great. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? I mean, I thought it was a really, really poor ride. One of those instances where you thought that she was just going to win by 100, and you know, did you even consider that anybody else may be running in there? My problem now, in hindsight, though, is I look at that Cumley and I go, where are the killers in that race?
Well, Unbridled Mo was in there, though.
Unbridled Mo was in there. She came back and she won that Houston Ladies Classic.
And the Double Dog
And the Double Dog there, but with slow figs. So it's one of those things where, look, I think she's in many ways the alternative in here to Curlin's Approval. I question what price she's going to be. I'm going to be stunned. You'd knock me over with a feather on Saturday if she's 7-2.
We're going to take a look right now at the Timeform US Pace Projector for the Grade 3 Rampart Stakes. Good news if you're a Nona Mella fan and you're worried about the distance, because there's a chance she's going to get to the lead. Bad news if you're like me and are handicapping this Timeform US Pace Projector and saying, I don't think Curlin's Approval is letting Nona Mella get away with anything, and I think Curlin's Approval is faster than Lewis Bay at this distance.
Yeah, I would agree, and I kind of feel like if you're a Rad, don't you want to let those 2 go? I understand maybe you're saying you're going to let the best horse get the jump on you, but at the same time, I kind of feel like let them duel each other, and if this horse is ready to go, which you would imagine Chad's going to have her ready to go, you sit the catbird seat and try to take over.
The 7 Gamble's Ghost is one of my favorites. Anyone that watches the stakes replays know I usually wax poetic about Gamble's Ghost. She has won 4 of her last 5 starts. She's won at distances ranging from 7 furlongs to 1.25 miles. She has done some really good work on a synthetic surface. The question is dirt. Josie Carroll's a really good trainer. She went only 1 for 30 at Gulfstream last year. But again, she's a really good trainer with a good formulator fact. Limited positive data on Gamble's Ghost. Last out winners moving from synthetic to dirt over the past 4 years. 33%, big ROI, a couple of those races in stakes. Gamble's Ghost is a really solid horse, and if this pace gets a little bit hot, she's got an outside chance at a good price.
Well, there's the two kind of big things for me anyway. You look at the synthetic record, she's phenomenal on synth. You have no idea if it's going to translate. And the other thing is, she's coming out of a 1.25 mile race on synth in the Maple Leaf, where she got her opening half in 51-2. She's going to be coming from way out of it. You're going to need him to be knocking heads early if she's going to come with that run.
Let's talk about some of the bigger priced horses in this race, beginning with Lyrica, who's a Gulfstream lover, who got to Gulfstream West and said, it's just like Gulfstream, only with a W. 82 buyer last time out for her, actually her career best figure. She's getting back to her favorite racetrack. There are some class issues because her buyers are light.
Yeah, buyers are light, and also just look at the company that she's been facing. She faced Curlin's Approval 2 starts back. She's beaten by 6 1/4 lengths. So if you think there's some sort of scenario where she can make up 6 and change, go on with it. I just don't think she's quite good enough.
Alpine Sky had a little trouble last time out in the Grade 2 Chaluki, a race in which one of the other also-rans came back to win a stakes. I think Moiety shipped to Mahoming Valley to win one of their stakes races with an 82 buyer. She then went through the auction ring. She sold for $175,000. She's now with Marcassi, and best for her, perhaps, is that course distance winner 2 back.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is a little bit of tactical speed, where she doesn't have to be up on the lead. She's also not going to come from 100 out of it. If she sits 2 or 3 lengths off of it and they do throw it down early, maybe she's in that some kind of similar position to Lewis Bay, where they're 2 or 3 lengths off and they can make a move.
King's Ghost has won 3 out of her last 4 starts for Marty Wolfson, scored on dirt in an off-the-turf race most recently, but only with a 69 buyer. It appears as of right now she's better on turf.
To me, this is a fascinating sort of study if you are a fan of the Timeform US pace ratings, and because overall her most recent rating is the fastest in the entire field with a 117. And the turn back, I always love a turn back. Now, this is going to go slight turn back from 1/16 to a mile, but
1 turn mile.
1 turn mile here. She's interesting. I would put it this way. If you're playing a try or a super, use her underneath at the very least.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 Rampart Stakes. Matt, you're not fooling around. She loves the track. She's the fastest horse on the race by virtue of her Princess Rooney, her races in the Royal Delta, the Hurricane Birdie, all at Gulfstream, and she's dropping out of the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. You're going with Curlin's Approval.
I'm trying to think of another horse in recent memory anyway that loved one racetrack so much and was, let's call a spade a spade. She's kind of mediocre everywhere else. She gets back to Gulfstream and she just turns into a different animal. So I can't think of another one in recent memory. I just think she doesn't have to have the lead, but she can go. She got that kind of early gas. I'd like Louise Size to be a little bit aggressive. I'm going to go 1-3.
Curlin's Approval, the horse to beat. She got beaten here at odds on last year. I'm hoping that Chad has Lewis Bay ready and can work out the trip that you projected, where the 1 and the 6 go out there perhaps on the lead, or the 1 takes off as of Timeform US picks. Lewis Bay is 7-2 on the morning line. I don't think I get any more than 5-2. I would play a very small win bet on her at 5-2, and maybe I would try to knock Curlin's Approval out of the exotics, get Nona Mella in there for second. So I'll go 3-6. Matt's going to go 1-3 in the Grade 3 Rampart Stakes. Again, if you are playing the Saturday Gulfstream card from home, please sign up to DRF Bets. $300 sign-up bonus. Good deal. drf.com/fall. Promo code FALL300. An approximate post time for the first of 5 gradeds at Gulfstream on Saturday, 2:05 Eastern. Good luck.